Hi guys. Uh, this is the first AMA that I think we will do like regularly every Friday. There's a lot of questions. From time to time I like talk in different chats in Waves ecosystem, and I can see that there is a lot of questions. So my goal now is to make those AMAs weekly. I think I'm gonna make it actually because that should be more efficient than just talking in random chats. So let's get started. There's a lot of questions, and as you know, there are some problems in Waves. There are some like good things, bad things. So let's discuss it all. Let's answer all those questions, bad questions, good questions, everything. So I have a list of questions from you that was collected by our team, and I'll start with it. And after I'm done with it, you can basically ask more questions in YouTube chat. So let's get started, and let's just, let's not pick questions. I have a list, and I will go through the list one by one. So the first question is about USDM. As you know, USDM is experiencing some kind of depack again. It got better recently, not like perfect, but it's a little better, and looks like it's going to be okay again. But the plan is to make sure that it becomes like undepeggable, as I tweeted. So the plan is to make USDM undepeggable. That means that it has to be $1 at all times. So what's the plan? I think we'll announce it next week. Maybe I can give you some hints. It will be based on DAO mechanics, and somehow it will be something similar to like more centralized stable coins, not in like not from decentralization perspective, but more in the way they hold their peg. Because, for example, USDT or USDC are doing fine, and the question is why. And I think I have an answer for that question, and I think we can somehow combine this like more centralized mechanisms of centralized stablecoins with algorithmic stablecoins. For that, we would need to improve the DAO mechanics and maybe somehow decentralize those incentives that people create for more centralized coins. I understand that it's pretty vague, but you will understand better what I mean once we have made some announcements. And I hope to make them next week. So, but the long-term goal is to make sure that USDN lives, because I think algorithmic stablecoins are very important, not only for Waves, but in general. I understand that there's a lot of attacks from like different parties, from regulators, from some kind of like market manipulators. But it's okay, so what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And I think sooner or later, we'll be able to create a stable coin which you can't really depack. And we are working on that because I think it's very important. The next question, how will the demand of the token will increase? And how will this token use within the ecosystem? Which token actually? So I think it's Waves, I guess. So what's going to happen to Waves token? Waves is a native token of Waves chain, so obviously you need Waves to do anything on Waves chain. And there's going to be a lot of new projects on Waves soon, because we have launched the incubator, and there is like maybe a dozen projects in the incubator pipeline, and we're going to be launching them one by one. We're going to be helping with the launches. So there's going to be a new launchpad on Waves Exchange, and all those projects are going to be launched on Waves Exchange launchpad. So there's going to be more demand for Waves token because people probably will want to participate in IDO campaigns and in ILO campaigns. This is like initial liquidity offering when you just launch a market without any kind of pre-sales. You just launch a new market. And this will create like new demand for USDM. This will create new demand for Waves, and maybe for some other tokens within the Waves ecosystem, for example, for WX token. So yeah, basically that's it. And also we plan to be launching like the new Waves, like Waves 2.0. I can't tell you when it's going to be happening exactly, but we're working on that. We are finalizing the concept. The goal is to create a L1 chain, which is different from other chains, which is built on our approach that we already have. This is POS that we have, and we want to like take it to the maximum, take it to the limit, and create a very robust, very fast L1 chain. And on top of the chain, we will be building different L2 solutions probably that will also support EVM, for example, because I know that a lot of people are interested in this. The next question is like, it's like some kind of bad question in a way, you know. So a lot of people are asking about Vires situation. So Vires is a lending platform on Waves, which had some kind of like credit crunch situation this spring. So how did it happen? So basically, you could borrow funds on Vires with USDM collateral. Basically, you could provide USDM as collateral and borrow USDT and USDC. So, and there was like, maybe it was an error. USDM price was fixed at $1 on Vires. So it was hard coded. So there wasn't any oracle that just used the real price. The price was hard coded, and yeah, actually it was a mistake. So people borrowed a lot of USDT and USDC with USDM backing, and there was like a lot of fun around Waves this spring. So when Waves price went down, actually all those loans became like somehow under collateralized, and there was this like credit crunch situation when you couldn't withdraw your USDT and USDC on Vires. It was a bad situation, as you know, and we are still resolving it. So unfortunately, it's pretty hard to resolve it in one day. So it's been it's been happening for several months by now, but we are on it, and it will be resolved naturally. So what we are doing, initially, we had to accumulate all that bad debt into one account. I assume the responsibility for that account personally. So basically, now I own everybody on Vires, which is fine because I should be the person who is responsible for this in any case, because I am responsible for Waves ecosystem in general. And we have been trying to do different things. Maybe not all of them were successful. What we're trying to do now, like maybe an hour ago, we allowed people to withdraw SURF token as some kind of compensation for outstanding loans. And why it might be interesting, because if you believe in USDN, if you believe in Neutrino, you understand that when USDN is back to full collateralization, SURF will like go up in price, and you can not only not lose money, you can make some profits as well. So if you believe in USDM, if you believe in Waves ecosystem, I think it makes sense. Of course, you don't have to do that, so you can just wait till we unlock the vesting again, and you will be able to withdraw USDM and like sell it slowly on Waves exchange or somewhere else. So it's just an option, and it's totally up to you if you want to take it. But it might be interesting for some people who are like maybe not so risk averse, because you can there's some risk definitely, but the reward is higher, so you can make some profits when USDM backing is back to like full collateralization. So what actions are you taking to repack USDM and restart vesting? So what we are doing now, for example, we allowed serve vesting, so you can take serve, which might be interesting for some people. How we plan to repack USDM. There's going to be some like new announcement about the new mechanics soon, which will be focusing exactly on the pack. So I think stablecoins goal should be maintaining the pack, and if you approach this problem from this side, you understand that you can do some interesting things if you just focus not, for example, on backing ratio, on collateralization ratio, but only on the pack. You can actually provide some architecture that focuses like explicitly on the pack, and this is what we are trying to do, and we will announce it pretty soon. And once the pack holds, and it might actually happen before we create this new mechanism, we will unlock the vesting again. So probably it should happen next week, because the pack is almost there. And once it's closer to 1, maybe it's like 0.99 or something like that, we will allow you to take USDM out of Vires again. Next question is, do you worry about SEC banning algo stablecoins? Actually, I think at this point, like my blockchain career, I am not worried about anything, guys. So because I've seen too much. So, and we will be doing what we are doing, irrespective of what regulators think. Of course, we are ready to communicate with them. But I think that what we are doing is right. It is like useful. It has some meaning. It has value. So of course we are ready to speak with everybody, with all the parties involved. But we're going to be doing what we think is right. So I think that the current generation of algo stables is not perfect. I must admit that, including Neutrino, of course. I can explain why, actually, because you usually build them using some kind of incentives. And those incentives don't work in all market conditions, because you usually don't think about all market conditions, so you just want to create something that works in normal market conditions. And you just don't take into account those corner cases, which are very important. Those like black swans. So I think that the current generation of algo stables probably won't be so successful, or they will be successful with some changes. There is some good coins, actually. I think DAI is pretty good because it uses a different mechanism, which is more stable, I must admit, because actually it's not based on incentives in DAI case. But all those incentive-based algorithmic stables probably need some kind of new approach, I guess. Yeah, so you need to really make sure that those incentives are interesting enough for the participants in all market conditions. And this is pretty hard to achieve. So, but in any case, it's good, because what happened to algo stables now is a very good educational experience, and we have to go through it to become stronger and to create something that can really work for decades to come. So we are still young. I mean, not Waves, but crypto in general, and we still have a lot to learn. Next question. does he plan? Do you plan to repay any USDT, USDC when peg is back to 99? So we will be like selling USDM if USDM that is like taken by people investing and sold doesn't crash the peg. So if there is enough liquidity for USDM, we will be selling it and eliminating that bad debt on Vires. This is what we're going to be doing. For that, we need to create incentives and demand for USDM. And once the peg is back, and it should happen pretty soon, we will start like promoting our liquidity pools. We will start explaining to people why they are different from what you have on Ethereum, for example. I think they're still pretty profitable even now, but when you have this like DPEG situation, people are afraid of it. You know, even if the profits are good, and profits are pretty good still. For example, just check with exchange pools. Actually, it's very profitable if you deposit your liquidity there, and people have been making a lot of profits even during the bear market, even when USDN was depegged. But I understand that it's a problem and people are afraid of the depeg situation. So we are not like trying to promote it heavily because that would be weird, you know, so we're trying to promote a stable coin, which is not really stable. But once it's more stable, we will start doing that because there is no other way to provide some kind of like sustainability to Waves ecosystem. You need some demand for our products. We need to do some marketing because, of course, if you have a good product, probably people will come to you, you know. So, but in current market conditions, I think it's pretty important to have some demand right now. Don't wait for, because we have been waiting for so many years. As you know, Waves is pretty old, and we launched like 6 years ago, and probably our marketing wasn't really great. And we always thought that sooner or later users would come, but I think it's time to make sure that we really have some users now. So once the tech situation is back to normal, I think we'll be promoting our products more heavily, attracting more developers, so we don't have to create all the projects by ourselves. And also we have like a situation when you have a more decentralized community, the way you have on Ethereum. Probably this is the only example, I guess. But Ethereum in this regard is great because you have a lot of like independent teams, and core Ethereum team, of course, doesn't build any products on Ethereum because they built Ethereum core, and that will be our eventual goal as well. So what benefit does transferring my vesting amount into Serve have? As I explained, actually, it really depends on your risk aversion level. So it might be interesting for some more risky people who like to trade, like not holders, but more like traders, because it's basically a bet on neutrino. So if you think that neutrino is going to do fine, it makes sense to actually do the surf vesting, because if you do that, you will potentially make around like 100% profit at current prices. So because now it's like, it depends on where you buy it. I think on Waves Exchange is cheaper. It's more expensive if you buy it from the contract. It's around 40 cents. But when you have the banking back, Surf will go to $1 basically. So you can make 2.5x profit, which is very nice, I think. But as I said, it depends on your like attitude to trading crypto. Basically, if you're a holder, maybe it's better for you, and you're all stuck in Vires. And I really understand that you're very unhappy, because I I'm more unhappy than you, I would say, than all of you. I understand your situation very well. In this case, if you don't want to, like, gamble, maybe it just makes sense to wait till the vesting is alive again. Makes sense to withdraw some USDM daily, sell it, or maybe if you want to give a chance to other Waves products to use that USDM for other Waves pools, for example. If you think that Waves is going to do fine, I am like 100% confident that it will. In this case, you can just get some surf and make 2x profit when the situation is back to normal. Next question, do you still believe that it's still possible to move significant number of developers from Solidity to RIDE? What actions should be taken to achieve it? So it's an interesting question, actually. It does depend on the direction of development of blockchain technology in general, I guess. Maybe it's not like a deal breaker if RIDE remains some kind of like niche smart contract language that focuses more on like gasless approaches to blockchain scripting. Maybe it's okay. It's going to live in any case. I'm not sure that it's going to become the most prominent smart contract language in the world, but I'm not sure that it is a problem, because we have different approaches to this. And the real problem with crypto is not like having gas or creating some kind of like gasless smart contract languages. The real problem in crypto from technological perspective is scalability. So if you have a scalable blockchain, it doesn't really matter what scripting language, what smart contract language you choose. It can be Solidity, it can be EVM-based languages, it can be RIDE, it can be something else. Actually, it's not that important. So if we are able to solve scalability, I think we could have RIDE, we could have Solidity, we could have EVM. So for now, I think our goal should be not trying to, for example, make RIDE the best language for smart contracts. Our goal should be resolving scalability, because this is the real problem in crypto. So once you have it resolved, you will understand that it doesn't really matter what smart contract language you use, because it will boil down more or less to the same thing. So some of them might be better for certain projects or could work better in certain conditions, but in general, it's not a problem of a smart contract language, because as I understand, there is this like debate between coders all the time, which language is better, like Rust or Go, and like, but you understand it's more or less the same thing, so it doesn't really matter what language you use. What matters is like the platform on top of which you're building, so, and the platform gives you all those like features, not the program languages. So probably we should be thinking about creating a better platform, and better languages will come. The 10th question, could you share details about the upcoming neutrino governance updates and when we can expect the release? So we're going to have, before those like mysterious things that I kind of like hinted at about new approaches to neutrino governance, I think we will need to create a mechanism where we can vote for arbitrary code to be implemented in neutrino. We still didn't have that, so probably took us a little bit too long to implement that, but it's time to do that actually. So you'll be able to vote on the like exact code that is to be implemented. So you vote for some code and it like gets automatically implemented. This is the next step that we will have to do before anything else with Neutrino. And I should check with the Neutrino team. I'm not sure when they're planning to release it, but I think it's going to happen very fast. And once it's done, we will be able to implement those new things that I mentioned. Next question is there any progress on the topic of the Vires ambassador program? I think it's like probably you haven't seen any results yet, but I am in the chat with the ambassadors, and as far as I know, there is like 200 new ambassadors in Vires that are just waiting for the launch. So there's a very clear plan. It is based on incentives from the teams. So basically, ambassadors will be receiving some bonuses from the projects, and they will execute some tasks for the projects within the Vires ecosystem. And once we have our Power DAO, and I will probably mention it later, so what we will do with it, we will somehow connect our ambassador program to the DAO, so it's going to be very interesting. But I will repeat, actually, we already have onboarded around 200 ambassadors, and the launch is soon, and I think it should be very good because we work, there's like, as you know, there's a lot of new people in our team, and people who work on our ambassador program now were very successful with ambassador programs before. So basically, they're doing what they did before, but we will enhance it with this DAO mechanics, and I think it should become even better. So I'm very optimistic about our ambassador program because I can see a lot of action there, and you will see it soon as well. Next question is, do you plan to improve the mechanics of SURF? At the moment, the market price is much lower than the smart contract price, and inferring from the volume, there is not much interest in this solution. I think SURF is like a more long-term solution because you can't really resolve the situation with this all bad debt in hundreds of millions of dollars on Vires by just launching a token. And also just, it's a tool. So it's not like a solution that can save everybody in one day. So it's a tool that will be used for months at least. And I think actually it works as this tool because maybe we could like make sure that people know about it better. Maybe more people should know about it. Maybe more people should know about USDM, but it should be a very interesting token for some people, I guess, because there is a clear like plan for SURF. You understand that if you buy SURF now, and if USDM is successful, or at least lives, if USDM lives and is stable, SURF is gonna do very, very, very well. So as for changing its mechanics, probably I wouldn't do that. I would focus on all those things that relate to neutrino governance, to new ways to make sure that neutrino is like more adaptive. You can really adjust it to current market conditions better. And I would keep SURF the way it is now. And maybe once the situation is back to normal, people have converted their SURF into USDM, I would phase it out completely. You know, so everybody like made some profits with SURF. So it's a tool that worked for some like period of time, and we don't need it anymore, like eventually. So eventually we won't need it, I hope. And we could, you know, transfer neutrino protocol to that new mechanisms that I mentioned. This is the goal. So I don't think that SURF will exist forever. The plan for it is to help us with recapitalizing neutrino, USDM, and it can actually make you some profit. It can help neutrino become capitalized again. And once it's over, I think Surf doesn't have to exist any longer. That's the plan. What excites you the most from upcoming updates, new projects on the Waves blockchain? So basically, I think two things. I'm really interested in two things. This is the upcoming DAO, which is called Power DAO. I like the name because I think it's time to take the power back and make governance better, because we are facing so many problems with governance now in the world, not only in crypto but in general. As you know, if you just read news and watch TV, or if you just don't live under a rock, you understand that the world is coming through a very difficult phase right now. And my opinion is the problem is governance, because you can see that some people are able to make some crazy decisions, and nobody can do anything with it. It's kind of crazy, and I understand that the governance is wrong. You can't actually exist in such a society when like a limited number of people is able to decide on like such big things, So it just can't work like that. It should be like more decentralized. There should be some like checks and balances. So, and I think it's time to do that on a technical level, and it's possible to do that actually, because it wasn't possible before, but it's becoming possible now actually. When you have internet, when you have crypto, you can build a system that we were not able to build before. And you can actually improve governance. And what we are trying to do is Power DAO. We are trying to create a new governance model that should work at the beginning for crypto, but later it can work for anything. And it is based on very simple principles. Basically, it's accountability. So if you make wrong decisions, you are being punished. And if you make right decisions, you're being rewarded. And the community, people who basically are the DAO users, decide if you're successful or not. So people say what they want to do, they choose some managers to do what they want, and they reward them or punish them based on their performance, based on their KPIs. Actually, it's a very simple idea, but it hasn't been executed in crypto yet. And I think this is the first attempt to do it like in practice. There are like some similar models, for example, Futarchy. If you follow this like governance space, you probably heard about it. It was quite popular in Ethereum, for example, but nobody was able to build anything using that approach. And I think we'll try to do something very practical, which can be used for crypto projects, but also for any kind of projects. Let's see how it goes. I think we'll launch this DAO around maybe October. Like there's going to be some announcement at least about the airdrop. There's not going to be any kind of IDO, so the token will be distributed in an airdrop within Waves community. So only Waves. We're not going to do any other chains. It will be within Waves only. And I think could be very helpful for bringing more people to Waves as well. And then the other thing that I'm really interested in is the new version of our chain, which is not going to be Waves 2.0. I think we'll call it, we'll give it another name. Is going to be called New Waves, because I think that 2.0 thing is used too often, and it's kind of, kind of tacky, I would say. So it's going to be New Waves, and there's going to be some kind of upgrade of our like current protocol, which I think stood the test of time, but it still can be improved. So we're going to make sure that it's like it can execute more transactions per second. It is more scalable, And my personal opinion that you have to have a very good L1 solution, but if we can't come up with totally new ideas about blockchains, if you really want to have millions of transactions per second, you will have to build L2 solutions. That is solutions on top of like lower level blockchains. And we have a couple ideas about that as well. So I think once we have started the development of new waves, we will also announce what we do with L2. And I think our L2 will support EVM, because everybody is asking when we will have EVM. I think we won't have it on the main chain, but it will be on L2 level. Next question is, Coleman Maher is not a part of Waves Labs team anymore. Can you tell us what happened? I think nothing happened actually. We have hired a lot of new people, and some people come, some people go. It's just a very natural process, So I think you can reach out to Coleman on Twitter, for example, and ask him himself. I don't think there is any kind of secret there. Nothing really bad happened, I guess. It's just, it's life, guys. When we could expect already announced Vires VIP 32, VIP 31 proposals. I guess very soon, because now we have we have serve vesting, and now Vires team can really get down to those proposals. So I don't remember what exactly is in them, sorry. But as far as I understand, this is going to be adaptive vesting and new markets. I think that new markets are very important. People need to understand that Vires is not going to disappear. There's going to be like other lending platform on Waves, not only Vires, but Vires will live as well. So there's going to be new markets on Vires, because there's also Vires token holders that bought the token, and they're asking about what's going to happen to Vires, what's going to happen to our tokens. And as you know, on Vires, Vires holders and Vires takers get 10% of like platform revenue. So it's like decentralized, but there's some kind of like revenue. This is basically the interest. As a lender, you have to pay, as a borrower, you have to pay some interest, and a lender receives this interest, but there is some kind of like share that goes to Vires, and that share is distributed between Vires takers. That's how it works. It was pretty successful because you had a very high APY for months on Vires. So some people bought Vires token because the API was high, and that's why we can't just phase Vires out and say that we will, for example, launch other platform, or we won't be launching any platforms at all, and just allow people to build their platforms on Waves. I think it will be wrong. So Vires will live. We will launch new markets. We will come up with a new mechanics for vesting, which will depend on USDM peg. So when USDM peg is off, you can't vest because it would hurt USDM peg. And when USDM peg is back to normal, you are able to vest. And actually, if we really create some good demand for USDM, we will be able to introduce new USDM into the market. So it's not really bad for Waves that people get USDM. Maybe they will use it for some other products within Waves ecosystem. Next question. What can community do to help you improve the overall situation in the ecosystem? I think, guys, you should just use our products, including low-level products, I mean developers. So you can, for example, use Ride to build some project on Waves. that would be very helpful for us. And this is what actually we are trying to achieve when we started Waves. I was trying to achieve, I want more people to build on Waves. We don't need to create all those like Vires products on our own. Hopefully somebody else will be able to do that, like for us, for all of us. So we will be focusing on the core protocol, and so we will attract more developers. If you're not a developer, if you're just a user, just give our products a try, because we unfortunately don't have that many users, I would say, because we have very good products. We have had very good products for years, but probably we didn't have that many users. Maybe it was like a problem of perception, because people thought that we were like some kind of like local project in Russia, which was never the case actually. We have never worked with VCs, for example, which also maybe is not so good for attraction, because the VCs can be subtraction. The question is how it ends. It usually doesn't end too well for crypto. But the whole market is now VC driven, and we have always been a blockchain for the people. VCs are also people in a way, so we don't reject them, but we've never worked with VCs, I must say. Maybe we will in future with some like good VCs if they exist. So guys, if you're a developer, try to build something. If you're a user, try to give our products like a closer look. And if you just want to like support us, I think just follow our social media accounts, comment, and maybe be more positive, because we have a lot of fun around Waves. I'm not trying to hide it. I don't know why it's happening. It's like somehow died down now, but we had a lot of fun because people tried to short Waves. They were successful, I must say. But it's okay. So yeah, I don't care that much about the price. Of course, it's important for perception of the product, but for me, it's some kind of like, I don't really care about like capitalization and stuff, because this is something that is somehow very superficial, and what I care about and will care all my life is like sustainability of things that I do, and I think that I will be doing what I'm doing in any case, if it all crashes, and if we have like if we have more problems, I don't care, because this is a thing that I've been doing for years, and I will be doing it for years to come. Very complicated question. I think that given the option to vest in SERF will crash its value in one day. There is already a big discrepancy from a smart contract SERF price and the market price. What will happen if millions of SERF invade the market from Vires? I think that it could happen, but when BR, backing ratio in USDM, will go up, people will understand that like the redemption date is drawing near, and the day when they will be able to claim their USDM from the contract, and that will push SERF price up, because sooner or later it will happen. So if there is not so much demand for now, it will be there actually. The demand will come when people will see that backing ratio goes up, and sooner or later they will be able to claim their SERF and redeem it into new USDM. So, and people who, for example, are not buying now will be like questioning themselves, why haven't we bought actually? So this is just the mechanics. So it's very simple. If you believe in USDM, if you believe in backing ratio, if you like restoration, if you believe that it will be restored, it will be like brought back to like full collateralization, it makes sense to buy Surf. Probably people are scared now, not only on Waves, but in general on crypto, because you have this like bear market situation and people are just afraid of crypto in general, I guess. It's a problem, but how we can resolve it? I think we just should persevere. We should just stick to what we are doing, and sooner or later we will resolve it. There is no like shortcut here, So you have to be doing what you are doing. There is no way to resolve it because it's perception of crypto, and you can change the perception of market. You can like turn bear market into bull market in one day, So it's a lot of work, and we're ready to do it actually. Next question is, what's the difference between Vires and Puzzle Land? I can't tell you actually, guys, because there can be like, I don't know all the details. I definitely know about Puzzle Land. I won't say that I don't know about it. I do know about it, of course. But you need to understand that there can be a lot of different projects on Waves, and they're independent. It doesn't mean that we build like everything on our own. So there can be many different projects. And I think if there is another lending platform on Waves, it could be very helpful because we need to have an operational lending platform on Waves. And currently Vires is not really operational, unfortunately. It will be again, but at the moment, it's really not. So if we have more lending platforms on Waves, this is very good. And Puzzle Land is like, I think it's one of the products of this like puzzle empire by Vladimir. And of course, I fully support him. And I think it's a very natural development for his projects, because he has swaps, he has some kind of like smart asset, like reserve asset, Pluto, which is also very interesting. There is a whole like ecosystem of puzzle products, and I think that lending is a very natural development for him. Next question is, please share some details about the PowerDAO. The release is next week, and the whole project is still very enigmatic. I think next week we will release the white paper, not the actual PowerDAO, because there's going to be some process. We will have to do the airdrop. We will have to launch the so-called mother DAO, and once it's launched, there's going to be child DAOs which connect to mother DAO. And the first child DAOs will be like Waves incubator DAO that is going to invest in projects on Waves, and Waves Association, Waves Grants DAO that will do grants, basically, that will provide developers with grants. At least these are the DAOs that we are planning to build on our own. Maybe some people will build something else, but we think that those DAOs are very important for Waves, and this is the first two DAOs that will be built on the platform. But before that, we'll do the power protected airdrop to active Waves addresses, and we will launch the mother DAO, the Genesis DAO, so-called. Yes, so it's gonna take a while. So I think next week we will release the white paper, not the actual DAO code, but it's coming as well. According to some information from the official Wave Exchange Telegram, more functionality is coming to the WX governance. Can you tell us more? Let me click on the link because I'm not really sure. Yeah, sure. So we need to create more use cases for WX. And it really ties in well with our Launchpad launch on Wave Exchange, because in order to be able to participate in those launches, you will need to stake some WX tokens. And also there's going to be other mechanisms for WX staking, because we need to create more demand for USDM. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard for people to figure out how boosting works. And I feel that we will need to make this product simpler, more easier to understand, because people really can't wrap their heads around it, you know. So somehow it's pretty hard for people to understand how those like on one hand simple mechanisms, on the other hand they're not so like accessible for people, you know. You can see that. So maybe, you know, like if you spend some time in crypto, in like participating in different platforms, you get the hang of it. But for like people who are like more casual, you know, so who are not focusing so much on crypto, who have other things to do in life, maybe it's a problem, you know, to figure all those things out. And I think we will need to make sure that everybody understands how staking works and so on and so forth. So maybe WX won't be so focused on boosting the reward in with exchange pools. Maybe we'll come up with other features. For example, if you lock WX, you are able to participate in IDOs, or you get some discount for trading, as it's the case now actually. And we will also have a referral program, like an update to Ways to Change referral program soon, that will be paying you for trades basically. So it will be like maybe more accessible, because usually if you have a referral program on a crypto exchange, it pays you for trades. And now it's a little bit more complicated, because you get paid if your referrals lock WX. And it's really hard to understand, and you don't get that traction. So we will try to simplify it as much as possible, and WX is very like instrumental in this, because in any case you will need to lock WX to access all those features, you know. Okay, so the next question. How is the development of USDM going, and when can we expect the full implementation of MetaMask Ways Exchange? MetaMask is coming soon. The guys are working on it, so it's a matter of weeks. And as I said, USDM is going to be built on top of our L2 solution, and the details probably are a little bit scarce at this point, because I do have some vision, but we really need to work out all the details, and we will do that after we have announced what we do with L1. But in general, I can tell you that the plan is to not have EVM on our like main chain, on L1 chain, but to build L2 solution that has EVM. I think that could be easier and more actually useful. What will happen to the WX from the IDO contracts that were not claimed and USDN collateral is claimed instead? Will these WX be burned? Yeah, I think they will actually, because, and what I want to say is after IDO is over, because it's not over yet, there's still some, I think not several weeks to go actually, to distribute WX to participants of WX exchange, WX IDO. I think we will have to maybe think a little bit more about the tokenomics of WX token, because you understand that maybe it's not so perfect, because it was inspired more or less by Curve. I think you know Curve project. And it has its issues, I think, you know, that approach when you just create those incentives for participation in pools by locking a token. Somehow it works, somehow it doesn't. It's maybe you can come up with a more robust approach here, because when you do this, in my opinion, now we understand that it's some kind of a trick, when you do this whole boosting thing. So it's some kind of like financial engineering, which somehow optimizes things, but not always, so maybe we can come up with a more sustainable mechanisms for WX. So we'll have to rethink our approach to WX after this ideal distribution is over, and I think it's about like 8 weeks to go, because we need to create more incentives for WX, and this is going to be our goal. So guys, yes, so there was like 22 questions. I went through the list. Maybe I'll be able to pick some more questions from the chat. Let me take a look. Let me find the YouTube link. So yes, let me open it. I'm opening my Twitter now to find the link. Yeah. Tell us more about the Vires credit debit card, future plans and integration. So we are supporting a very interesting product. Maybe I can find it in my pocket right now. I'm not sure, but I'll try. Yeah, this is it actually, guys. Yeah, I hope you can see it. This is a Vires card. And it works. Actually, it doesn't work everywhere because it's not connected to fiat infrastructure, actually. So it's a real crypto card. So it works like independently of fiat. I think this is something that will rule the world eventually. So everything's going to be on blockchain, and you won't have any fiat at all in the future. So this is just a harbinger, all those things. And this card works like somehow not using fiat, but somehow like not even on top of it, it's like totally independent of fiat. And we will be supporting this project. It is a project from an old friend of mine, from Victor Ammer, and now he's like implementing it in Switzerland. So he's gonna try to implement it in Zug, probably Crypto Valley. There's like a lot of projects there. Ethereum started there in Zug. So he's like talking to authorities in Zug, and they will be helping him with the launch in Zug to onboard local merchants so that they would accept this card. So I think it's great because we're not trying to do what other people already did, and this is the way we do things in general. So we're not trying to do what other people already did, because even if it could be successful, because I personally don't care that much about success for the sake of success. I just want to do something new, So that's why we're supporting this project. And if it really picks up steam, I think you will see those cards much more in the future, because it's a great product for developing countries. You don't need any kind of fiat infrastructure. You don't need people to have any bank accounts. You can just give away those cards, and they will be able to pay to merchants through stable coins with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Waves, without any bank accounts. So it's huge. It could be huge, and it's some kind of like combination of it, like hardware wallet and the payment card. So basically, you can think of this thing as some kind of like ledger that can pay offline. Like it's some kind of combination of a ledger or trader and a bank card, which is awesome. It's like hardware wallet and a bank card in one. Awesome product. And as you can see, it's like Waves card, So and we will be helping Victor and his team with this product, and you will be able to basically buy this card. Maybe we will somehow fund it with some Waves. So we'll be able to buy a card, and there's going to be some Waves there already. So it's coming. This is a product that we're going to support. Noting down card number. Okay, I don't think it's going to help you. It works differently. So it's totally different from Visa or MasterCard. If you know the card number, it can't give you anything, because the private key is in the card. So, and without it, you can't do anything. What can we do with Waves collateral on smart contract? Is draining. A user with hate everything name. It's okay. So I don't think it's a problem, guys. So what we're gonna do with USDM, you don't have to be so dependent on backing ratio, because the trick is to support the peg. So do you know how much money, for example, Tether or USDC has? They have some audits, but they're kind of like, I wouldn't say shady, but they're kind of like indecisive, So it doesn't matter what the backing is. What matters is whether you're able to maintain the peg, So I think stable coins should be focused on that. Or for example, fiat currencies, they're not backed at all, So they're just unbacked. As you know, there was some kind of like gold standard, and it was canceled. Maybe how many years ago? Like 50 years ago, like maybe 45. So fiat currencies are not backed with anything. The trick is to maintain the peg, and it's not bad actually. So because it's a currency, so it's like it's some kind of a tool that helps you do like settlements, So you don't have to swap like one thing for another thing. Just some kind of like useful tool that helps you do those transactions. So the question of backing is kind of tricky. People will try that it's unbacked and stuff, but nothing is backed in finance world, guys. Some kind of agreement, like some kind of like a tacit agreement between different parties, usually. So the trick is to be able to maintain the price, to maintain the exchange ratio, as in the case of fiat currencies, or maintain the peg, as is the case with crypto. Actually, you have to be able to maintain the peg. And I think if you approach this problem from this perspective, it becomes something different. You can see new options to make sure that this peg actually holds. And so if this like backing ratio is not sufficient, it doesn't mean that we don't have to increase it. It will be increased through some like new features, and Surf could help us with that. But in general, you need to understand that the backing is not so important as the peg itself. And if you really want to maintain the peg, you can do that without full backing as well. So it's a tricky question, actually, and it's not so simple as it seems. It doesn't mean that if your like stablecoin is not fully backed, it can't exist. Sure can. Do you plan to add other ways to leave Vires USD investing, such as power? For now, no. I hope that we will be successful with the ways that we have announced already. If we are not successful, we'll get back to this question. Black card, please. Sure, we'll do that. Upstack wants this card. Hi, Upstack. You're a great supporter of Waves. I really appreciate that. More questions. I will scroll up. When the cards will be available for masses? Yeah, I think the plan is to sell them on Amazon soon. Yeah, so I have to talk to Victor, but the plan is like this actually. Smile a bit, we are here with Armin. Hi guys, yeah. I'm a little bit under the weather today, sorry. Like a lot of things are happening and sometimes, you know, we don't have that much energy. Please bring WX price back up. Maybe it's a good opportunity to buy, you know. So let's just do some price discovery for WX token, I guess. Like playing Monster Hunt, I think the application is launching for Monster Hunt, and finally, there's going to be some marketing for Monster Hunt because that could be a huge game. Because we can, if we are successful with it, it can be big actually. Waves onboarding for Pluto, how to incentivize. I think there's going to be more onboarding with Waves or USDM for Pluto. I think Pluto is a very interesting product. It's like a stable coin, but it's not a stable coin. It's like a reserve asset. So it doesn't have to maintain the path. And it's a very interesting asset because you can hold it, you can earn some stake in interest, but there's no like fixation on maintaining the path, which is good maybe, you know, because the problem with stable coins, you really need to maintain that path. But if you have like a more stable asset, like not so stable asset that doesn't have to maintain its path, but its price is not so volatile, that could be a very interesting product, you know. So for example, if it's like $1 today, $2 tomorrow, like 50 cents in a couple of months, but it's still in the range, you know, and it still provides some kind of stake in interest, which is quite high. It's an interesting product, you know. So it's like a stable coin, which is not stable, but still pays you some interest. So this is Pluto, and Pluto actually should go up. There's some mechanism that pushes Pluto price up, and it's a very interesting project actually. Are you excited with the new games on Waves? Sure, yes. As I said, I have high hopes for Duck Hunt because I think those games will rule the world actually when you combine like your real world and you enhance it with some augmented reality. This is what we're going to have like massively soon. So and we are happy to create one of the first games in that like new brave new world, you know. So it's very interesting. What about Waves miners? I think Waves mining will remain more or less the same and will become more interesting in Waves 2.0 or in new Waves. So it won't change actually. So we didn't have proof of work, as you know. We have always been proof of stake, and we will remain proof of stake naturally. Rip Surf. I'm not sure, guys. I explained why Surf really can't die. Its price can go down, but eventually it will go up if you believe in USDM, because people will be able to redeem it when the making ratio is 1. And what do you think about algorithmic stablecoin bans? I think it's going to be really hard to ban them completely, because how can you ban a crypto token? we can go after the team, the developers, but they will become anonymous. So it's like, it's an arms race, actually. I wouldn't do that if I were a regulator, because it's like, it's strange. But they do have their problems, and Neutrino did have its issues, as you understand. So I think we have to work harder, to come up with something that is indestructible. And once we've done that, I think no bans will matter anymore. Grupo, can you tell us more about all bridge stablecoins and wave exchange plans and partnerships? We need to have more bridges on waves, of course, and we will be probably working with more bridges and gateways solutions. So the more ways you have to enter a Wave ecosystem, the better. And Wave exchange, actually, as I probably told before, we'll be building a derivative platform, which is very natural for waves, because our matcher that you have on Wave exchange is really easy to use for derivatives. And this is like the next step for Wave exchange. And I think what we really need to do, we have to focus on marketing for Wave exchange, because we have some very good product there, but not so many people know about them. So before we launch new products, we have to make sure that people use our current products. So the plan is to do some marketing, and there's going to be some kind of rebranding soon. I don't know if I told it, if I said it before, but there's going to be some new, some rebranding for Wave exchange. There's going to be a new name for it, actually, because change in the name is not so good, because it's more like a platform. It's decentralized, and people don't really always understand that it's a DEX, not a centralized exchange. And we have to make sure that people understand that it's a DEX, although it looks like a centralized exchange. In reality, it's a DEX, and that's why we're going to rename it soon. How are we going to approach the upcoming legislation? Algo stables are going to be banned. For sure, if the entity which issues the stable is the same that issues the banking. Actually, I don't think there has to be any entities that issue stable coins, because it can be just a smart contract. And I don't think that it's a very reasonable way to make sure that we won't have the situation similar to Luna again. So regulators are kind of worried about that, but probably this is not the right way to approach this, because it will be really hard to ban algorithmic stablecoins, and probably there should be some other ways to regulate that market. Many companies doing business in the real sector are making deals with crypto companies. Does Waves plan to make an agreement like this? Yeah, we have always been very active in enterprise sector, as you understand. Probably if you followed us before, mostly in Russia, and now the goal is to maybe scale it, because we don't do any business in Russia anymore, because of obvious reasons. Now we're gonna move our enterprise department elsewhere, most probably to the US, and we'll try to strike some partnerships. What about the crash of WX? It can harm the whole ecosystem. I don't think so, actually. Let's just see how it goes, because of the interest on Waves exchange, the interest and APY in Waves exchange pools is quite high. It's pretty high, so you can get 30% APY in most pools, and if you do the boosting, you can get even more. So like very good profits, guys. So, and somehow people are not so excited about the pools. So I don't think that WX price matters that much. When we merge, I think we have a lot of merge actually. Maybe we should promote it more. Okay, so I think the questions are like petering out. Maybe I'll pick one or two more scrolling up. Okay, so I think it's like more or less all the questions that you have for now. I try to reply to all the questions without picking good questions now, because I won't tell you that the situation is like 100% pressure, but like I think we have very volatile times, not only in crypto but in general. We have to stay strong. We have to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually it's going to become better. So thank you very much. I'll be doing this every week, replying all their questions without any kind of like picking good questions, because you need to make sure, I want to make sure that you understand that we're working for you. It's not some kind of like words. This is what we've been doing. And we just want to create products that people use and products that could actually change something in the world. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. Until next Friday, guys. Bye.